Roussy here, Quantum Living Advocate. This video is going to be all about Mindsync. I'll cover what Mindsync is, how it actually works. Then I'll show you how to use this program, and I'll cover some questions and answers about Mindsync. And in the end, I will show you a hack on how you can combine Mindsync recording with balancing harmonics from inner voice to maximize your time. This is the way that I always listen to my Mindsync recordings. So I'll put timestamps in the description below so that you can go straight to the part that you are interested in. All right, so what is Mindsync? Mindsync is all about affirmations. Affirmations are great. I'm sure you've heard of affirmations. You probably have done affirmations already. And so they are great. But the problem oftentimes with affirmations is we can say something all day long if we want, but if our subconscious mind does not believe what it's hearing, it's not going to stick. So there are ways that you could help program your subconscious mind. For instance, if you visualize something and then you put some emotions to it, like picture it as being your reality, it does work. It does help to program your subconscious mind, but it's a little bit more, it's not necessarily that easy to do. Mindsync makes this process a lot easier because it does the heavy lifting for you. All you need to do is listen to the affirmations. So let's talk about how it actually works now. So with Mindsync, what you do is you record affirmations. Those affirmations can come from a script that the program will provide for you, and all you need to do is read the script. There are 7 different categories, 7 different preset scripts for you to choose, or it could be a script of your own, something that you choose. So you first record the affirmations, whatever you decided to record, and then what the program will do is it will make a copy of that recording. And what's going to be special about it is the copy is going to be all the affirmations that you recorded. Every frequency in the recording will be raised by 8 hertz. And the reason why it's 8 hertz that was chosen for this is because 8 hertz correspond to the upper end of the theta brain wave state. And when you're going to play back the recording, by having what's in the left ear and the right ear different, that is called a binaural process. What happens when your brain hears something like this that is different in both ears is it will focus on the difference between the two, which becomes a third message that your brain focuses on. And because that message corresponds to the theta brain wave, it will help to put you in that state when you are listening to the recording, which will make you way more receptive to what you are hearing. So when are we in theta brainwave? Like examples are like just prior to falling asleep, when you're about to drift off to sleep, or if you're in light sleep, when you just wake up in the morning, when children are often spend a lot of their time, I forget the exact percentage of it, but it's quite a bit of their time that they are in that brain wave. And that is why they are so impressionable and they're like sponges and they could learn faster. It's because that's the reason. Other examples are when you are in deep meditation, or if you are really, really focused on something and you're like in the zone, like we say, that is also theta brainwave. Or when you're in a hypnotic state, that is why hypnosis works so well. So that is why by listening to your recording, you will be taking on the affirmation more readily because it will essentially cross the conscious barrier and go straight to your subconscious mind and programming those affirmations into your subconscious mind. There's nothing like Mindsync on the market. It is one of a kind. And also because what you're hearing is in your own voice, that is also what makes it so special. There are some recordings out there that you can purchase, but it's not your voice. The number one voice that we listen to is our own voice. And then there's the voice of our mother. Those are voices that are really the most powerful for us to listen to. All right, so now let's go over how to actually use the Mindsync program. So I'm in the Mindsync module right now. First, you want to be in the right headspace to do this. If you are not feeling good for any reason, if you're upset or anything like that, don't do Mindsync at that time. It's important that you are feeling good enough. Go in inner voice, do an inner voice scan, listen to your balancing harmonic. Take that time first and then come back to Mindsync. Okay, take a moment to center yourself, clear your mind. And if you need to have some water, you want your voice to be nice and clear. And when you are ready, hit the record button And make sure to speak as clearly as possible and with conviction. Even if you don't feel it quite yet, you don't believe yourself quite yet, act as if you do. Fake it until you make it applies here, because you want to be as believable to yourself as possible. You're going to go and play the recording back. Okay. So here are the choices that you have. First, you select whether you're going to say your own script or choose one of the preset. So there's two custom options. One is 60 seconds or 120 seconds. That is if you're going to have your own script. Or you could choose one of these seven other ones. And if you choose one of the other ones, it's going to provide a script for you on screen, and all you need to do is say the script as you see it. Okay, when you're ready, you hit record a custom affirmation. So I'm going to give you a little demo here. I am constantly generating brilliant ideas. I am free. I'm resilient in the face of challenges. Okay, so when I was done, I hit the record button again. You may have noticed that while I was recording, the record button turned red and back to green when I stopped it. So that's an indication, a visual indicator that it is being recorded. It's recording is when it's red. Okay, so now let's go over the different options that you have. Offset hertz. That refers to that offset setting that I was talking about. You know, the fact that the copy of your recording is raised by 8 hertz. 8 hertz. That is the offset. By default, is on high. Okay, so you want to put headphones, hit play, listen to the recording, and what you want to hear is something that sounds as if it's coming from the center of your brain. If there's any sort of wobble that you hear, or this just doesn't sound right, try a different offset setting. Try mid and to see if it sounds better, and maybe low. I just want to say that you don't want to turn off the offset settings, because if you do, then you lose that magic where, you know, that binaural process that this program does, you're going to lose it if you turn off the offset setting. There are times maybe where you may want to turn it off. Let's say you're doing a recording for a child and the child cannot stand having headphones, or is too young, or, you know, something like that. Somebody who doesn't want to wear headphones, then you could turn the offset setting. But please note that if you do that, all you are left with is a recording that is paired with music. And that's pretty much all that you have left. Okay. The next option you have, where it says tone. If I toggle this on, as you see, it added select emotion right here. This is something optional. You don't have to use it, but if you want to use it, you would select which emotion that you are experiencing. And this, you may recognize this list as being the same list of emotion in Quantum Flowers, because that is where it's from. And you choose, let's say I'm feeling overwhelmed. It's going to, in the background, it picked a flower for me. I'm not going to know which flower it is, but there will be the tone of a flower added to my recording. And there's one of the volumes. There's 2 different volume dials here, one for the music, one for the voice, and one was added for tone. This refers to that flower tone. Okay. Then the music track, you can choose if you want an environment sound or a music. You could try them out and see which one you like best. Make sure you don't always make the same selection though, because you want to switch things up and not always have the exact same thing that your brain would get used to and not respond to as well. Okay, so there's a button here where it says inner voice. You may think that this will somehow add inner voice balancing harmonics to your recording, and you wouldn't be the only one. Most people, that's what they thought when this came out, but no, that refers to a music from the Inner Voice program, because there's 12 songs in Inner Voice, and none of these songs are in this list. It's a different set of songs. But when you hit Inner Voice, I'll do it right now, it's going to add one more choice, and that's going to be pulled from the 12 songs in Inner Voice, and it's basically scanning myself to see which one would be best for me today, and it chose ambient calming, which I happen to really like. You don't have to choose that one. It's just an extra choice that you have. So once you have made your selection, you could, again, make sure you have headphones on, and press play. For the sake of this demo, I'm going to turn the offset setting off because we're not listening to it through headphones, but please know that I wouldn't do that if this was an actual recording that I'm going to be listening to. Okay. Let's just listen quickly to the recordings just so that you could hear what it's like. The first few seconds you hear is the tone of that flower, and I could control the volume of it here. I could change the volume of my voice and the volume of the music. I'm going to stop it now though. When you are happy with all of your selections that you've made, then you need to email it to yourself, because the moment that you exit the screen, it's going to be lost. Nothing is saved in memory. Unlike scans that you always have it, the last scan that you did is saved in memory. Even if you did not email it to yourself, it's not the case with Mindsync. And I learned this the hard way. I kind of assumed it would stay in memory in the beginning, based off of what I was used to with scans, but nope. So yeah, beware, beware of the importance to email to yourself. Okay, now let's go over some questions that you may have. What if you want to play the recording on a loop? How can you do it? The best and easiest, I guess, is to play straight from the app, because that is what it will do by default. It will play for as long as you, until you press stop, it will play. But if you send a recording to yourself, the way to play it on a loop, you send the email, you will have an MP3 file. Usually the MP3 is max 3 minutes, but if you recorded something shorter, then the MP3 usually is also shorter. Maybe not as short as what you recorded, but it could be just a minute and a half, let's say. And you're going to download it on your device and then play the MP3 file using an app. I use Spotify for this, or sometimes I use an app on my phone called Cloud Player. But pretty much all music apps have an option for repeat song. You could repeat a playlist. Usually it's an icon that looks like infinity or some sort of looping with arrows, showing that it's going to be like, circling back. And if you hit that option again, usually then you'll see a number 1 appear, which is repeat song, not repeat playlist, but repeat song. So that is how you would do this, how you play on a loop using a music app. Can you do this for a client? Yes, absolutely. What you need is for the client to send you a recording of the affirmations that they want, and you're going to need your device, much like when you do from a distance and inner voice from a distance. You need 2 devices for this. You're going to play the recording that was sent to you. It could be sent many ways. It could be by email, by text, WhatsApp, Messenger, or whatever app that could do this. And then with the other device, you're going to use Mindsync recording. So you're going to hit record on your Mindsync, the device that plays Mindsync. And after you press record, then you press play on to play the recording from the client. Just be mindful of the tone for the flower. I wouldn't use a flower for a client, because when you do this for a client, the client is not going to do a new recording tomorrow. It's probably going to be something that's going to be listening for a while, so it might not be as relevant to have that tone. So usually I don't add a tone when I do this for clients. I turned it off. Now, can you do this for a child? Yes, if the child is too young, and probably most child would be too young to say the affirmations themselves, you could do it for them. The best person to do it, well, it's not you doing it for them. You're not going to be recording the affirmations for the child. Their mom is the one that has to be doing the recording. That's the best person to do this. And ideally to not say I am affirmation, but you are affirmation, as if the mom is talking to the kid and say, you are amazing. You are, how important it is what our mom thinks of us. So this is how this would be done for a child. Next question. Does the MP3 file expires? No. Even months down the line, or even years, like you could listen to an old recording and it's still going to have value. Now, does that mean you should be listening to the same recording over and over? No. It's best to record, again, ideally you'd be wanting to do this daily. The reason being that it's equally important to say the affirmation as it is to hear them. And if all you ever do is play a recording that way back when you recorded, you're not saying the affirmations ever, you're just listening to them, you're missing out on the saying affirmations part. Okay, so doing a new recording will make you say the affirmations again. That's one reason. And the other reason is you want to switch things up so that it doesn't always sound the same, for you, to keep your brain stimulated by something that is new and not like the same old. It's the same if you're going to be exercising. You don't want to have an exercises that you always do do this exact same amount of reps in the exact same order, like your body's gonna become lazy about it and too used to it, and it's not gonna have the same effect. It's the same here. So change the music, change the offset settings even, to switch things up, and that is also gonna be making it more effective. Are the scripts always the same? No, they are, well, the list of script, let's say you choose health affirmations, the complete list is the same. But every time you do it, the order is different. And the reason for this is for what I was just talking about, to switch things up, and so that it's not always the exact same thing. But the list, yes, is the same. And I think that's all the questions I had for today. So if you have any other questions, feel free to ask, comment below, or you can get in touch with me in one of the ways that you could find in the description. So the last thing to go over is how to play Mindsync recording at the same time as inner voice balancing harmonics. This is my favorite way because it's such a time saver to do it both at the same time. The way that you could achieve this is by, you're going to have two different recordings that you're going to play. One is going to be your MP3 recording from Mindsync that you previously made. And the other is not going to be a recording because you're going to play the inner voice. You're going to play directly from the inner voice, from the app in inner voice. So there's music in both. So you don't want to have competing music though. So the way that I like to do it is I make a Mindsync recording and I turn the volume of the music in Mindsync completely down so that there's no music whatsoever. Then I send the recording to myself by email. Then I play the recording that I previously saved on my device. And then I go in the app and I'll show it to you. So I am prepared. I pulled up my inner voice, which is ready to play, and I have my MP3 files that has been downloaded on my device. It doesn't have any music, my MP3 for Mindsync. So I'm going to show you how I could play both at the same time. It's important that inner voice you play from the app. It's not going to work if you have an MP3 for inner voice and an MP3 for Mindsync. It's not going to work. So I'm going to start my inner voice. I chose the volume is not too high, so now this is playing. And in my app here, my music app, I have my Mindsync recording. And as you can see, you're hearing the tone, and you're going to hear the affirmation. Everything is playing at the same time. Okay, it's a little much. Let me just turn this off. Okay. Yeah, so this works on my devices. Okay. Usually I'm showing this on the computer, but usually that's something that I do with my phone. I have an Android phone and it works, like a charm. But there's someone who was trying to do this on an iPhone and she couldn't do it. I don't know if it's because it doesn't work on any iPhones or if it's just per iPhone, depending on, I guess, settings, could play a role here. I'm not sure. So if it doesn't work for you, I am sorry because you are missing out. So that's it for me today. I'll see you in the next video.